Hi there, my name is Sed, and here's my talk. Recently, I analysed, or tried to at least, a website, attempting to understand how much carbon it emitted. It turns out that the page size is virtually the only thing that is used in the calculation, and almost everything else uses global average values, although there are a few caveats. Page size is definitely very important, but there are many other factors that we need to consider if we want to optimise. Please note, I'm not trying to do down the carbon emission calculation here. It's a super handy thing, and the ballpark figure is very handy in a lot of situations. These tables show most of the principles of green software engineering and the measurements optimizations they recommend, although I did remove a couple to save space that were less relevant. The CPU on the client I calculated by scripting sitespeed.io, and it has the added benefit that it has a CPU benchmark, so you can compare runs on different devices at different times fairly well. CPU on the server can be estimated by running the server locally and running existing CPU measuring tools. Most data centers will publish the power usage efficiency now, although weirdly Amazon don't, so that's quite find-outable. Most data centers don't publish the server utilization, although they must know it internally, so presumably that will be on the way soon. All cloud vendors now have a carbon footprint tool, which can tell you the carbon cost of your account, and they obviously all tell you how much the account costs as well. And then finally, transfer distance can be worked out from website analytics such as Google Analytics or Cabin Analytics. So when I was analysing the website, I didn't have access to the server or to the analytics, unfortunately. That is still under negotiation. But even just the metrics from the front end were quite interesting. And I think the main interesting thing here is that the more data is sent to mobile devices than to desktops, and I worked out why that was, and maybe we'll have time for that in the questions. But even on those, in this quite limited analysis, we can make quite a lot of recommendations, and a lot of them are quite easy. This list is sort of in rough list of simplicity. We can rerun the analysis quite quickly and easily, which means we can make a change and make sure it's been useful. And in this case, without the analytics and the server, a lot of these changes do affect the page size, and so would show up in the carbon emission calculation. But even here, optimizing images, optimizing the CSS, and optimizing JavaScript will all affect the CPU on the client, which has an impact on the embodied carbon and the energy emissions of the client. So, in conclusion, the current carbon emission calculations are great for ballpark figures, but to optimise, you need to go a little bit deeper, I think, and use metrics like these, which are all fairly easy to get. Thanks very much. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the conference.